3, 2, 1, begin.
Alright, the players are starting out here on a burning basement, and their first item room is Chemical Peel. Both players pick it up easily. Every other shot gets plus a damage or two, so that's a good start out here. I want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining and viewing the second quarter annual Isaac tournament that might happen some more times, and that'd be cool. Alright, there's a large room here filled with those guys that run faster when they're lower on health. They kind of stink, but I think both players are going to handle it pretty easily. There you go. Uh-oh. Poppy taking a little bit of damage here, but you know what? That's how the cookie crumbles. Luckily he's got a red heart on the floor and he recovers that health pretty quickly. King making quick work of that room. Not a huge issue for him. And the next room also seems to be on lock, as the kids do say. Alright, King enters a large room that a lot of people know from the basement floors, and honestly it probably takes 3 to 7 minutes just to finish it. So why does this room exist? Honestly, it's just a pain in the ass. But we see the boss room's connected to it, so it has to be completed. We can't bomb out of it. And you know what? Our players can do it. A large champion at the bottom could spell defeat for any of our players. I believe a hit from that will take 2 entire hearts. And let's see how it goes. Right. Both players hovering at a heart, heart and a half. Very dangerous time in this world. Alright, and they both defeat the large champion. Poppy's done with the room. He heads into the boss fight. King defeats the room, not quite going to the boss fight yet. He's going to go back and pick up some red hearts that were left on the floor. Alright, Poppy in a dire situation right now. But he can pull it out against this boss. King still hasn't decided to go to the boss. He's exploring the rest of the floor, hoping for maybe a heart or something.
Just take it down, King. Just take it down. This is absolutely the worst start I could have possibly imagined.
Pretty rough start for Poppy and an easy, not easy, a quick ending. Let's see, on the clock we got 2 minutes 57 seconds. You finished first, so that's 100 points.
Yeah, that's right.
Poppy, what were your feelings when you were doing this entire floor?
How did that even go wrong so quickly? You know, it's like when you start work on Monday morning and you think today could be tough, you know, and then it's noon and you already want to die. That's what that felt like. It felt like Monday at work.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that's very relatable. King re-rolls the belt, gets pushpin from Crackjacks.
I did not like that floor. That was brutal.
And heads down. Okay, I think the floor bonus is enough to give King the.
I think King should take the win down because I died to the first floor boss.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna see.
Like
I cleared the floor, so that's all.
Yeah, no, that's a win. That's a win for King.
Yeah.
Already 1-0. King, how do you feel? Is that really how you wanted to win? I gotta ask you. You drop that lucky C note on me and you win like that? Pay to win?
I got really scared in that room before the boss, though. Not gonna lie. the Jumbo Champion. I was like, nope.
That's what did it to me, I think. And there was a contention in my chat that I left without picking up health that was on the floor, but I actually picked it up earlier because I had lost. I lost a little health earlier too. So, well, shall we move on to the cane round 2?
Yeah, let's head over to Kane. You want me to generate the seed this time?
Yeah, please do. And maybe play a little worse for my sake. King, can I confirm that it is Yankee 7-1 Paul Quebec 3 George Samuel?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to type it into your chat. I had a whole bunch of windows like jump around on me. I was trying to rearrange, but yes, that's it.
Gracias, my friend.
I'm going back to the main menu now.
By the way, King, I wanted to say that I thought today would be in the bag because I actually got something really special in the mail today that you won't be able to see, but I will describe verbally for you what it is. Would you like to hear?
Yeah, tell me about it.
So for those in my chat, gaze upon my Binding of Isaac t-shirt that just came in the mail today.
It looks cool.
I was going to wear it today, but it came yesterday, and I'm one of those people who I won't wear clothes if I haven't washed them. Are you like that, King?
I wasn't like that before until the one time I wore a shirt, took it off, and my entire chest was green, and I thought I had gangrene and was dying, and then realized it was just the ink, so I now wash them first.
Yeah, no, I can't. I don't know. I think like when I was younger, I got like a weird rash or something, and it's just stuck with me to this day. To this day. To this day.
All right, I'm back at the main menu with the code in. You ready? I'll count us down.
Count us down, my friend.
Ready in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, both players hop into the seat here. Another burning basement, unfortunately, but let's hope this one pans out better for both players. Poppy here already finding the item room. That's a pretty big advantage early on, I would say. King taking a hit of damage. That's going to be a rare sight these days, so savor it while you can. Alright. Well, quite a room for Poppy, that is, and a potential trinket to take or not. Alright, King's battling some champions in a lower room, and he's having a great time with that. Poppy heading a different direction, and he gets a card that could prove useful or worthless in just about any room. So, great card. Alright, King doing his due diligence on the burning basement, shooting every fire. Will it pan out for him? Will it not? We'll find out. Alright, King making his way to the item room as well. Poppy clearing to the shop. Alright, King takes the finger. Everybody loves the finger. It points damage at any range across in which the direction it's pointing. One bad thing is it could blow up barrels as soon as you walk in a room or something like that. So you do have to be careful in that regard. King thinking about taking Damon's tail, and he's still thinking about it. Alright, Poppy's cleared the rest of the floor. He looks like he's got full health. So he's headed towards the boss fight. King looks like he took Damon's tail, and he's on his way. Alright, certainly a boss here on the Burning Basement 1 floor. King also picks up the super useful card, known as the Magician. Poppy dealing with the boss in the best way you could, killing it before it kills you. And King's right outside the boss room as well, so it's a very close bout right now. Alright, Poppy. Alright, doing all the right moves. Alright, that's certainly an item. And he heads on down. Alright, King entering the Haunt fight. Champion Haunt here. Loves to use Brimstone. And only one ghost. That's the difference for that champion. Alright, Poppy in an unfortunate Burning Basement 2. How could this happen? But so far, so good. Poppy donning the crown in perhaps an early celebration and hopefulness of a win.
It was a redeem. I'm not. Listen.
I
no.
know. King taking Mom's Pearls, and that's great for King because he starts with a little lower range. So even though it's 1.5 range for Mom's Pearls, it's still probably helpful for King. Alright, the King entering the shop on the first floor. What's he going to do? He doesn't have any bombs, so he's going to buy a Spirit Heart and get the heck out of here.
I'm so sorry. I have to. The Senator is back. I haven't seen Senator Jagirmo in so long, and he's back. I'm just celebrating, and I'm crying, and I'm fogging up my glasses.
No, that's completely fair, probably. Alright, the King heads down to Burning Basement 2. Interesting note, where Poppy had a Tinted Rock on Burning Basement 1 in the room before the boss, the King had, was it nothing or was it a fire? That was a very strange circumstance.
I blew it up.
Oh, you did blow it up? I didn't even notice. Alright, the King getting a black heart from a poop. That's got to be Damon's Tale at work. Pretty rare payout, but hey, it paid out, and that works. Alright, both players outside of the item room right now. King enters it and thinks about it, makes a funny face, and chooses to take it or not. Poppy, a very similar face is made for this item, and for now it looks like both players are passing on number 2. Alright, King using the finger to deal range damage to the meat enemy. Poppy doing some nice clears, acquiring some bombs that will be used for blowing things up. Alright, Poppy enters the shop, and there's certainly some items to purchase here. He blows up the what-you-call in the hopes of getting more cash, but maybe it doesn't pan out. Alright, another boss fight here on Burning Basement 2. Poppy handling it pretty well. King sitting right outside the shop right now. He's got a golden key, so he'll check it out. He sees Champion's Belt. He needs about 10 more cents, though, and that's going to be rough in a little floor like this. Alright, Poppy defeats the boss, is happy or not with the item, and proceeds into the Devil Deal, in which he may or may not take 1 to 6 items. Let's see how it goes. Well, that's how it went. Alright, King clearing. He's hoping for 10 more cents. Poppy hoping for 8 more cents. Champion's Belt would be great, but Poppy heads to the next floor. He's looking for that time bonus, and you know what? So far, I think he's ahead slightly. Alright, King now dealing with Champion Monstros. It's a small room, which is just... why does it exist? Who programmed this, and why? But you know what? King tries the evergreen strategy of Blackheart bombing, and it works out for him. Sees an HP up at the boss, and he goes in the Devil Deal first. Alright. Poppy dealing some nice damage to the mushroom enemies on Catacombs 1. King thinking over the first Devil Deal. He's not sure what to do. He takes Dead Cat and walks away. You know what? That's fair. You would have walked away with the same HP if you took the what-you-call, but I know it's a crap item, so I can get behind that decision.
Yeah, no, I took it and I thought to myself, I'm just taking this because it's literally no loss to me, and maybe someday it helps.
That's right. Maybe someday. All right. King revisiting the shop. Really wants Champion's Belt, but doesn't look like he'll get the money or the cash, which are synonyms, so I shouldn't have said that. But oh well. And he looks like he's leaving the shop disappointed. Yikes. That's all I can say about that shop. Alright. Poppy outside the shop in Catacombs 1 chooses to go in it or not for now. That's fine. There's a challenge room I see. Alright. King dealing with the mushroom enemies. And Poppy in a very large room with a couple champions, it looks like. Both players have 0 bombs. Looks to be a weak point of the run, unfortunately. But you know what? You could have took number 2 and had unlimited bombs, and probably got yourself killed. So, it's a decent trade-off. Alright. Poppy clears that room. King declines to do the challenge room, declines to do the sacrifice room, and goes in the shop despite having just 2 cents. He's a very hopeful king, and you know what? You can't be mad about that. Poppy outside of the item room right now, and a kind of annoying room, but it looks like he's making it through it, and he's got enough keys. Well, let's check out the item room on Poppy's side, and that's certainly an item that people would take or not take immediately. Alright, King dealing with some champions. Gets a key for his troubles. Alright, Poppy takes a hit of damage there, but that's okay. He's got the shadow worms to deal probably about like 500 damage a tick now. It's a pretty overpowered item. King clearing out the large mulligan champion room. Alright, Poppy's one monster was just sitting there, but the finger got him, if you know what I mean. So, the finger always gets you in the end. Alright, King in the room before the item room. He's adopting a left-handed stance to just fight the enemies from. That's a good idea. Poppy dealing with the boss fight. Shouldn't be much of an issue. And hey, the King gets another black heart thanks to Damon's Tail.
King, I would never have made that swap, but the fact that it's paid out for you twice is infuriating.
That's right. And somehow King has 4 more keys than Poppy. So I guess there just haven't been a lot of gold chests popping. Or else the King would be spending those because he does not have the paperclip.
When I get Guppy's tail, then you'll know.
That's right. Poppy defeats that boss, takes the item, and leaves to the next floor, still on track for being ahead of all other competitors in this contest. Alright, Poppy doing a challenge room here. A boss challenge room, no less. Could be dangerous, could be very lucrative. So far, just dangerous. Alright. King heading into the peep fight. And again, the finger will be nice here. You can deal range damage without worrying about the puddles of pee. And hopefully the eyes won't cause too much of a problem for him. Alright, King dodging into a shot. I've done that myself about 50 times per run, so no shame in that. Belly button appears, and it drops the Vibrant Bulb. No spacebar item for either player yet, so Vibrant Bulb not a huge get right now. King's going back, perhaps to pick up hearts or an exploration bonus going on. I'm not even sure. Oh, there's a black heart there, but it's between some rocks. Will you pay 3 bombs for 1 black heart? The King will do it. You know what? You get a key out of it too, so there you go. Poppy's still dealing with that challenge room. These bosses have a lot of health, and you know what? He defeated it. So, great job, Poppy. Alright, the king takes the black heart and heads on down to the next floor. Alright, Poppy checks out a room here that had some okay things and some not okay, so that's how we feel about that. Catacombs 2 for the king starts out in pretty regular fashion. Oh, that's a nice spirit heart drop for Poppy. There you go, there's a trinket everybody loves to see. But maybe not over the paperclip. It's a, I don't know, it's a close, oh my gosh, Poppy almost walks over the spikes. Seems very, very dangerous, but you know what? He did it okay. Alright, the king also opening a gold chest. Not happy with the trinket that popped out. King holding on to two of diamonds from way earlier in the run that could pay out in some fashion. We'll have to see. Poppy also doing great. He's right outside of a curse room. Poppy, as you can see, his most recent item is very advantageous to a run. I might have missed it. Did that come out of the challenge room? But don't answer that because, you know, who knows. Alright. King outside of the item room and the shop. That's pretty interesting. And he picks up some coins. And sighs heavily or smiles greatly at the item inside. Poppy's still exploring the floor. Uses Tammy's head to, I think, no avail thanks to the hosts and their shielding skulls. But you know what? That's okay. Ouch. That's gotta hurt for Poppy because it did literally hurt. That deals damage, as we all know, and sometimes you gotta slow your roll. Alright, Poppy heads into the item room. Makes the face of indifference towards Headless Baby and then takes it. Alright, heads into the shop. And it's a normal shop for Poppy, despite being a greed fight for the king. Are you guys on the same, like, unlocks and stuff?
Yeah, we're playing the exact same seed and the exact same file.
Okay, that's strange, but hey, that happens, I guess. Alright, Poppy getting a nickel out of the shop, buying a soul heart or two. And the king has a wad of cash, and he can only get more at this point. Let's see, he's got some charmed worms doing some work. Poppy dodging the spikes deftly this time. And, King, those are your friends. What are you doing? Alright, there we go. King heading into the next room, despite trying to kill his charmed acquaintances. Honestly, I can't blame you. Alright, Poppy heading into the boss fight. It's a remarkable room and challenge. And there you go. King also heading in that direction, I believe. Alright, Poppy gets a boss item and access to a deal. King also in the hollow boss fight right now. Doesn't get a deal. Took some red heart damage during that fight, unfortunately. He did use a bomb to speed up the kill, which I can respect. Alright, so both players have the caffeine pill. Poppy got a nice item from the Devil Deal. And they're both going to explore some more rooms here on Catacombs 2. Poppy's going back to the shop. King completes his... I believe he completes the exploration bonus. Oh no, there's a room unexplored still. But he says, screw it. Alright, he heads on down. Poppy unfortunately doesn't get enough cash for Black Candle, and it looks like he'll be heading down as well. Or he might go get cash for Black Candle, I don't know. Since he's clearing rooms. Alright, the king is making all the enemies in this room wig out with the charm shots. So I'm going to have to ask you to never do that again. Thank you. Alright, and he gets a key for his troubles. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but King didn't do the challenge room on Catacombs 2, which was a big boon to Poppy. It had 4 gold chests. So, we'll see how that difference plays out in the scoring of this run once it finishes soon. It looks like Poppy went for the completion exploration bonus here on Catacombs 2. Cleared a couple more rooms than King, and hey, he found some more sense as well. Got a luck up. Poppy, everything's going great for him right now. He really came to win. He was very upset that King dropped that C note on him earlier, and you can tell it right now in his actions. He's going for the win. King, however, still doing fine on Depth 1. He's right outside the shop. And he's got a pocket full of cash. Oh, he's right outside the item room as well. And it's Curse of the Blind. So who knows what this item could be. King decides to take it or not. We'll never know. And so a Curse of the Blind shop is unfortunate, but it can provide soul hearts either way. So perhaps the King will take that route. We're not sure. Alright. Oh, an interesting item from that. The King's happy with that. And you know what? He might risk it here. He does. And yikes. Vibrant Bulb would have been nice for that. But otherwise, get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? Alright, and Poppy heads on down. King's picking up all sorts of items here in the shop. Necropolis one for Poppy and the King. King restocking on health heavily, which I don't blame him for at all. And he's getting very lucky. He's getting a soul heart per bomb on the shop, which is pretty nice. Excuse me. Alright. Poppy doing great. He's got 8 of his lives left. And he's clearing the rooms here in Necropolis pretty handily. Poppy outside of a double key room right now. Let's see if he chooses to go into it. He does, and he finds a certain room that has a function or provides treasure. So, how about that? Another trinket that he's not interested in. King holding on to his item from the shop pretty intently. We know he likes to hold shop items for some times and then use them at the best of times. So his patience can only pay off here. Poppy next to the secret room here. King making some cash in this room and heading into the boss fight. Alright, so this boss fight is not too bad or pretty rough, depending on who you ask. So, there's that. King handling it well so far, though. Poppy now in the large room outside of the item room and shop. Alright. Poppy does not have Curse of the Blind because he has Black Candle, so he knew his Chemical Peel. He picked it up. That's pretty good. King defeats the boss and is having a good time here. Alright. Gets the item from the Devil Deal. Alright, so King is a little ahead of Poppy development-wise, but he's also about 2 minutes ahead of Poppy due to some pausing here or there on one of the other streams, and that's fine. We're giving 100 points to the first person to finish time-wise, so with the lowest time at the end of a successful run, that could still be either player. King goes in the double key room. He's got a golden key, so he's a 2 dice room. That's a d20 for the room, so he's going to get some stuff on the floor and potentially re-roll it. Poppy's having fun in the shop, picks up Diplopia, and doubles everything in the shop. So he's got Book of Belial, School Bag, and some other stuff going on right now. And that's pretty good. He also has Head of the Keeper from blowing up the Keeper. You can never complain about that. Unless you complain about the coins hurting your eyes or something weird like that. Alright, King gets another Magician card that he just doesn't want, but he takes it anyway.
Hey, I'm sorry to pause the run here, but King, can you comment on how much Sinvicta likes Head of the Keeper or doesn't?
He never wants to pick that up, and it's just because of the tier effect. It's ridiculous.
He's like, I know it doesn't lower your damage, but I just feel like it does. What does that even mean?
It's a very good observation by our players, not Sinvicta.
Yeah, we call him Cinny V here. Come on, man, get with it.
You said Sinvicta like a minute ago. Alright. King picking up a very useful card, especially if he's holding on to his trinket from earlier, which I believe he is. So that could prove bountiful in the future. Poppy fighting Loki right now. He's using the finger through a rock to deal some damage. And that's pretty good, except when a Boomfly hits him pretty close range. Alright, now the King is attempting a challenge room. And he said, you know what? I'm out of here. He used a Cine V strat for that one, and he didn't want to stick around. Alright. Poppy here takes Demon Baby from the Devil Room, and he's having a great time. He's heading down. Alright, King.
Cinny V.
That's right. King also heads down at the same time in real life, but like 2 minutes later in Isaac time. 2.5. Alright, Dank Depths 2. King still has Diplopia. Poppy rolling with Book of Belial, which increases your devil chance, but he's already got Goat Head, so that's not a helpful point. But you know what? It's a damage up for a room, and that is helpful. Alright, King Blackheart bombing his way through that room, accidentally. Oh, there you go. It's a nice sack for the King. And that'll help out with some consumables right now. Poppy dealing with a room with a void portal, charms it, and it spawns charmed enemies. So that's why those stick around, I guess, after the room's done. Makes sense. Alright, another simple room for Poppy. King is handling his room as well. It is the Dank Depth, so we could see some Mr. Mines, but hopefully we don't, because those are unfortunate. Or are they just in flooded caves? Yep, I totally misspoke. Anyway, there's an arcade, and maybe there'll be something in there for our players. Or not, I don't know. Alright, King spending some red hearts on something he feels is worth it. And how do you feel now, King? How do you feel now? Alright, he seemed pretty good about it.
You alright?
Yeah, okay, there you go. There's your answer. Alright, and he gets another black heart. He's really leaning on Damon's tail, and so far it's paying out for him. Poppy also dealing with some success on this floor, clearing the trash rooms with no problem. Looks like he got the item room. And hey, good for you, Poppy. Good for you. Alright, Poppy also getting the secret room, and it has a great payout, or it's crap. But hey, that's every secret room. King blowing up a skull, getting Dry Baby. I mean, you can't ask for much better than that on an Isaac run. Alright, Poppy outside the arcade right now. Let's see if he goes in or not. Chilling with Mom's hands right now. Oh, the King outside of the boss fight. I do believe he won't go in just yet, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, Poppy playing the Demon Beggar. Doesn't pay out for him just yet, but he's checking for some hearts from some other beggars and machines. The King outside the shop right now. And Poppy gets a potato peeler, same as King had. Alright, looks like Poppy chooses not to use it, and that's fair. Some people Don't like peeling potatoes. Alright, king enters the shop, sees an interesting item, unless it's way too late to make use of it. And to be honest, everybody knows the answer to that. Alright, he gets a nickel from that, and decides to just spend some cash. Alright. Poppy sees the no never again trinket and says, nope, I'm not even taking it. And, alright, different shop item for Poppy right now. He gets Pandora's box, which is, well, let's just say it has a use, depending on the floor you're on. King had Steam sale. I'm assuming because they rolled the previous stores differently, different amount of times. That's why,
Yeah, I did pass on Pandora's box earlier because I didn't have the money.
there you go. And that's how it's the same seed can generate into two completely different runs. But these are pretty similar runs. But, you know, just a bit different. Alright. King going for the exploration bonus, it looks like here on Dank Depth 2. Unfortunately crossing over some creep. Alright, and Poppy right outside the boss room right now. Let's see if he goes in or not. It could be either one. He does choose to go in. He's attacking his own mother in the boss room. Alright, Red Mom champion for both players. She likes to stomp, and sometimes her eyeballs shoot out of the wall, and that's about all she does. Alright, both players attacking Mom pretty well. King unfortunately takes a hit there from the eyeball, but he's doing great. And Poppy's having a good time in the Mom fight as well. Dry Baby does some damage for the King. Poppy gets hit by the foot. Chooses the Blackheart Bomb Mom, and you know what? I'm on board. Alright, King defeats Mother as well and gets a Blackheart out of it, no deal. Poppy gets a deal and loses 5 points because it's Krampus. Wait, that's the other system. Anyway, it's still Krampus. Alright, he got Krampus' head, which is unfortunate because he can't take it with him. Every passive item in this contest of champions is technically worth an additional 5 points because you lose 20 in the game and you get 25 from the napkin math system that we came up with. Alright, King dealing with a room in the Scarred Womb. Alright, he finally takes out the last guy, and then he makes a bit of a mess. Alright, King using a Card Against Humanity card here, and the finger is going to town, ripping the poops in half. Poppy dealing with the enemies in this room as well. King getting some black hearts. Your prime pickup here for the King is, of course, Petrified Poop, but honestly, I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Well, now that 85% of the poops have been cleared out, it's still not going to be great, but it's still going to be helpful. That's true. Okay, I think every poop's gone, and he got 3 black hearts from that, so that's a good card for the King. Alright, Poppy clearing another large room here. Seems to be a lot of large rooms here on the floor. But you know what? That's okay. King still holding on to Diplopia. So how will that pay out? He could get a deal this floor, or next floor for sure. But hopefully his Krampus doesn't come when he gets a deal. I know Krampus can jump around floors for sure, depending on when people get deals. Alright, Poppy having the time of his life here in this room. Pretty easy clear for him. Alright, Scarred Womb could mean anything. It could also mean a Matriarch fight at the end of this floor, which would be terrible because nobody likes the Matriarch. And we're not sure why she was created. Alright, King doing some nice clearing here. Clears another very large room full of spiders. And enters a room full of 3 portals. Okay, clears it for another key. He's got 29. He's got probably enough keys for the rest of the run, but you never know. and you know what? There are points every time you pick them up, so keep picking them up, right? Poppy's in the secret room. Get some pickups from that as well, so that's pretty nice for him. Poppy potentially thinking about using Pandora's box very soon. He just did it, in fact, so there you go. 2 boss items on Womb 1. Speedball and less than 3. Not the best boss items, but I guess they're certainly items, which would be 5 points each. So that's 10 points. Alright, King clearing outside of a challenge room right now. A little rough room with these jerks jumping around, but hey, that's their job. And Dry Baby cleans up the room. Challenge room, not worth it, King says. Poppy also clearing a room. It looks like a dead end, however. Actually, they're both in the same room right now. And Poppy chooses to touch something that takes him here. King also gets teleported to the Devil Deal. It is Krampus for the King. It was Guppy's paw and something or other for Poppy. So, let's see what King can do here. He might get Lump of Coal. He might get Krampus' head. He might get hit by Brimstone. Alright, unfortunate. It is head of Krampus. So, again, that's unfortunate because it exists. And, alright. King is on his way. Poppy is also heading around to some rooms. Alright. King is in the secret room, got some nice pickups. Poppy fighting the 4-way brimstoning Visses? Vies? I don't know how you say it. Those jerks. Alright, Poppy still fighting them in a different room, and they just can't stop firing. Get a job already, right? Alright, King dealing with some of the worms that pop in the shields, and those guys are jerks too. Honestly, who isn't a jerk on Scarred Womb 1? Alright, Poppy makes it to the boss room, just outside of it. Let's see who we're going to be dealing with here. Alright, that's certainly a boss that can appear on this floor, because it has. King now dealing with some trash rooms. Believe he's on the way to the boss, or he could be miles from it. Who can say? Poppy taking the Blackheart bombing route for this room, and I can't blame him for that. King in a rough room, because they break each other and King when they fire the lasers. And, alright. Poppy chooses to take boss room. Oh, King uses a resurrection. He's got 8 lives left. And then uses another one. This is a rough room for only 1 heart. Alright, Poppy heads on down to Womb 2. King in the spiral. King, take a breath, wait 5 seconds, and then try again. Or not. Alright, thanks for listening. King on 4 lives right now. Poppy doing well on Womb 2. Alright, he's taking a breath. He's dialing it back. Thank you, King. Alright. Poppy killing a champion here on Womb 2, and it deals damage to the rest of the room, but it was the last enemy, so it didn't matter. And he's got a stone chest with some cash in it. Alright. Alright, King getting fed up with this room. He's got 1 res left and 1 life left. I think he might do it. Oh my gosh. Alright. King is on his last life. Poppy is sailing through Womb 2 like it was built for him. And alright, we're going to focus on Poppy for a little bit here. King, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, that room is a mess.
Yeah, with the brimstones that made those guys shoot at you, and that was all auto-triggered when you walked by him. It was really awful.
But is Jeb a mess? That's the only thing that we need to determine here and now, King. Can we agree that Jeb is a mess?
Jeb is a mess.
That's very true. Poppy is on the floor after where the King died. I don't know if you guys want to call it there, or Poppy, if you want to Enjoy your victory lap, making the score 1-1 for the day so far.
Oh, is that King? Did you go down?
Yeah, I couldn't make it through that room.
King, I'm just so happy because I'm not going to go home getting skunked this time. All right, wow. Well, act like you've been there before is what they say. But as I haven't, King, can you tell me how I should act right now?
You should wear the crown.
I'll do it for
crown.
you, King.
There you go.
No, free crown redeemed for King. All right, let's see who our next character is. Nice, nice. That's 1-1, tied it up.
All right, the series is 1-1. That's correct.
Oh, the next one could be fun, King. Actually, I'm really looking forward to this next one. And there's a reason I put it as our third run, because I just really wanted to play this character, and I thought I'd only get 3 rounds.
All right, Apollyon, everybody's favorite, starts with the Void and base Isaac stats. Can I just say I'm incredibly happy? I mean, I'm sad people had to die for it, but I'm incredibly happy we haven't had to multiply 25 by anything today so far, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, no, the real winner is all of us because nobody had to do math.
That's right.
All right, King, the seed is, and I believe Mod Jess may be posting it over for you, is Romeo, Lima, Jack, Bravo, Nancy, Jack, Samuel, 6.
Thank you.
I'm heading back to the main menu and entering it myself now. King, I'll count us out when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Both players hopping in to the Apollyon run. Basement 1, Curse of the Lost. Not the worst time to have Curse of the Lost, I guess. Apollyon starts with 2 red hearts instead of 3, but otherwise he's Isaac, but he has Void instead of the D6. Void will eat a passive item for stats, or it'll eat a spacebar item and then use it every time it's used. So there's certainly a lot of unique combinations you can do with the Void item, and both players walk into Envy at first. So let's see this 3-minute fight end in a Troll Bomb for both players. Okay. Alright, Poppy defeats Envy, King defeats Envy, and it's not a Troll Bomb, it's Shoop to Whoop for once. Will people give up Shoop to Whoop, or give up the Void, sacrificing all of Apollyon's uniqueness? Let's see. Alright, looks like Poppy just skips it entirely. It looks like King did Void Shoop to Whoop. That's going to be some unique uses for that, because the 6-room charge on Shoop to Whoop is appalling, and if you use it for combat, then you can't suck up items. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, King has Shoop to Whoop in his Void. Alright, both players are outside the item room right now. Alright, King regretting his earlier use of the Void, it looks like. Poppy did Void the item room item, and now he's into more combat. Alright. Looks like there should be enough rooms on this floor maybe to get another Void charge for the King. We'll see how it goes for sure. Both players full health. And I wonder if the stats ups from the void are seeded. So we know Poppy got 2 certain stats. If King gets the same stats, I guess that would be yes as an answer, but we're not sure. So hopefully he can clear enough rooms and void the exact same item, because maybe even that affects it. I don't know. Oh, Poppy shocked to find a crawl space somewhere and is happy or disgusted with the results. Alright, the King defeating another room. He's only got 1 charge left and the boss room to go, so he'll definitely get the void back, but it depends on what the boss room item is, I suppose, because he might want to avoid that if it's great or terrible. I don't know. Alright, Poppy happy with his progress so far. Clears another room full of poop. King going back and using a bomb to get a Tinder Rock, which reveals that same crawl space. He doesn't go in it yet, though, because he don't got time for that. And you know what? That's fair. Alright. Oh, King finds another combat room here before the boss, so he'll be able to void before the boss if he chooses to. Poppy clearing to the boss room here on basement 1. There's a lot already happening and going on, even though it's already the first floor. It's only the first floor. There's a lot happening because of the mini-boss, the crawl space, the void. It's all very exciting. And if you're not excited, then what's your problem? Alright, King goes down, voids the peeper, and does get the same stats up as Poppy, range and luck. So I guess that is seeded or increasingly coincidence. I don't know. Alright, both players are in the Duke of Flies fight. King has an Algiz rune in case he wants to remain invulnerable for 30 seconds. Unlikely to be needed on Duke of Flies, but who can say for sure? Poppy dealing with the fight as well. Alright, Poppy getting a Tinted Rock in the middle of the fight. Dangerous and daring, but you know what? Worth it. Alright, when you have base stats, Duke of Flies is not a pushover. He can spawn a lot of flies that just piss you off and give you a lot of problems. Believe me, I've died to Duke of Flies. I'm sure everybody has. Unless you haven't, and I'm just bad, so sorry about that. Alright, but Poppy defeats him. King ends the Duke's life and just has a couple more flies to kill and get stem cells as a health up and a .16 shot speed up, which a lot of people disregard, but you shouldn't because shot speed's great. I'm going to say it. Alright, King takes the soul heart and checks the crawl space, finds gnawed leaf and a ghost. Alright, Poppy heads on down. King handily defeats the ghost, and it looks like he's taking gnawed leaf. Alright, Poppy is dealing with burning basement 2 right now. King, it looks like he's heading for the floor, door, trap door, and he's leaving basement 1 without the tinted rock from the Duke room, but that's okay. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell the future. Alright, burning basement, so lots of enemies on fire here. Both players have gnawed leaf. It's not that useful right now because there's nothing to deal damage when they're frozen, but it could pay off handsomely in the future and turn into a 5-hour run if you get Daddy Longlegs.
Well, I thought that's what they made 5-hour energy for, was for when you get Daddy Longlegs and then off leave. Is that not right? I read that on the internet.
I mean, technically you could fall asleep during it. You just got to walk between rooms. So I don't know why you need that much energy just to move to a room and then stand still. That's how I would say it. Both players have an Eternal Heart, which is great. King chooses to walk into a fire when the room's over. That's not a good strategy, but he knew that, and he's just a little rusty. That's okay. He looks very determined now, and that's good. He's taking out these champions with ease, and they just explode into more champions, which is just annoying. Alright, Alright, Poppy dealing with room here. Lots of walking enemies, some champions as well. But it looks like everything will be fine for him. He's down to 1 soul heart, so he took some damage this floor, but he's doing pretty well. If he can hold on to that for the devil deal, that can only spell great things. Oh, this room is quite the trial, I would say. Poppy will handle it, though, with grace and ease. Potentially. Alright, King gets another full charge in his void. Poppy also has that. And Poppy did handle that room with grace and ease by bombing out of it and hopefully never returning. Alright, King dealing with some spiders. Poppy outside of the boss room right now. Right. Uses a bomb to great effect. King outside of the item room. I believe Poppy didn't make it to that direction yet. So this will be a nice change to see what's going to happen here with the King. Poppy heads into the boss fight. And there you go. King, I saw the sigh. You got an odd leaf. That's an automatic win. Come on. It'll take 6 hours, but come on. No, you're right. It's a terrible item. Anyway, it's a great item. King picked up here out of the item room. And it looks like he's going to clear some more of the floor for the exploration bonus. Poppy having a fine time in the boss fight. Not too much to complain about, I would say. Alright, King popping some poop, looking for a little bit of help, but doesn't find much. Alright, King reacts heavily to the room that Poppy didn't enjoy either. But you know what? King says, hey, you know what? Screw you guys. And uses the Algiz rune to get out of the rune, or excuse me, the room with the champion spinning heads. He didn't even kill him. He uses an Algiz rune to walk by him and then bombs out just like Poppy did. That's arrogance. And you know what? I'm here for it. Poppy's having a great time in the devil deal. King has a exploding champion under his thumb, and he's right outside of the boss fight. He sees a tin and rock and blows it up. Poppy, pleased or not pleased with the devil deal item, we'll never be able to tell, as King makes his way into the monstro fight. And Poppy shockingly leaves the item room on Burning Basement 2 behind. What's up with that, Poppy?
There was no way in hell I'm walking back through that room. Like, it's not, whatever it was, not worth it.
That's fair. Well, I hate to tell you, it was Godhead and Magic Mush in the same room. So, just kidding, by the way. Alright, so Poppy's going to do the rest of this run here without Headless Baby. Somehow he'll manage, we think. But it's still a loss because Gnawed Leaf plus Headless Baby means, you know, a lot of things take damage.
Yeah, that technically could have been really helpful. I wish I'd gotten the Godhead and Magic Mushroom. For the record, I would have chosen Godhead between the two of them.
That's fair. King entering the Krampus fight here, just as Poppy had done. And let's see what happens. Oh, spinning Brimstone is unfortunate. But King is looking to survive this fight, and he just might not. But he probably will. Poppy's having a great time on Caves 1. It looks to be in a regular room, dealing with enemies, which, to be honest, is 70% of Isaac, so that's fine. Alright, King with some excellent dodges and some non-excellent non-dodges, but he's doing great. Krampus is just about dead. He seems to never stop spinning his Brimstone. It's very unfortunate. Alright, the head of Krampus drops. King's thinking about it, and he voided it. So he's now voided Head of Krampus and Shoop to Whoop. His void is an unstoppable use of combative action. Technically. If you think about it. Anyway, Poppy deals with an invisible champion, gets a nice rune from it. King now bleeding all over every enemy with Headless Baby in tow. Alright, it's useless in this room because everything flies, so that's unfortunate. King taking out the flies on his own. Poppy dealing with the floor lickers. Oh, King finds a nice card that he chooses not to use just yet. And that's fair. You know what? That's fair. Alright, another rough champion full room for King. Poppy gets a key from clearing his room. Let's see how the King handles this one. It's going to be a pivotal moment, perhaps, in the entire run. Alright, he focuses on that enemy when he can. Poppy dealing with a void portal and some other flying enemies that Headless Baby would be useless against. And King is stocking up on pills, apparently. He's got the same blue and white pill right next to each other. What's up with that? Alright, quite the room for him. He took no damage in that room, King, so that was a great clear, and he heads into a room with about 87 spikes. Alright, Poppy outside of the item room here takes a bit of damage, unfortunately, but let's see what happens. Maybe the seed will be kind to him and give him Headless Baby now, since he missed it before. Let's see what happens. Well, it's not Headless Baby, but it evoked the same face that it would have, probably. A great big smile. Alright, so Poppy chooses to take or void that item and heads on up and finds an interesting room full of enemies. King doing his due diligence, popping the poop, and you know, nothing came out of it, but that's okay. Alright, again the King dealing with some void portals here. Alright, Poppy gets a treasure chest full of pickups, and that's very helpful for his run, I would say. Alright, King takes unfortunate red heart damage there, but does find the secret room, so that's a bit of a, you know, consolation prize. It is a low chance to get a deal on this floor anyway, since last floor is guaranteed, so maybe it doesn't even matter, but we'll see. King does have help in the Way of Hearts sitting in a previous room, but he's thinking about how to use it, perhaps in conjunction with the rune he has now. And he sees Maggie's bow a health up, and when you pick up hearts, they double their value. He picks it up. He wanted that red heart. Poppy avoided it, I'll be honest. And let's see which play comes out better for both players. Alright, Poppy's in the shop right now, picks up a much needed soul heart, and destroys the fires because he is afraid of intense light. And honestly, so am I. That's why I never leave the house. King dealing with the fat bats here. They have much too much HP, and they're just annoying. But he takes them out with no problem. Poppy in a large room that always makes me panic. For that exact reason. Oh my gosh, a double hit of damage there is very unfortunate. But Poppy is buckling down, and it looks like he's taking care of the monsters now in this room. King sitting right outside the shop, dealing with floating heads, and one of them's a champion. So hopefully that doesn't deal a full heart of damage to the King. Alright, Poppy right outside the boss room. King gets some flies from that champion and enters the shop. Poppy enters the boss fight, and this could be one that takes some time or pretty instant. King picks up a soul heart from the shop and decides to bomb it for potentially more, and doesn't get that. There's a playing card though, which he does take. Oh my gosh, Poppy bombarded by enemies in the boss room, unfortunately. But you know what? He's dealing with it as best he can. I believe both players holding an Alga's rune right now to stop damage from being taken. And now King is in the nightmare room that Poppy was in right before the boss. Whoa. King doing some nice dodging there to so far avoid damage. But let's see how the rest of the room plays out. Poppy still dealing with the boss. and his lackeys. My gosh, King, that was over a spider web. You're quite the daredevil in this room, and so far it's paying off. Poppy narrowing the boss's health down to a slim margin, soon to defeat it, and then, oh my gosh. Alright, that's an unfortunate hit for Poppy, but we have every faith in you winning this fight. Use the rune if you need to. Okay, you did great. Great, good. Alright, King enters the Bighorn fight as well, and it's going to be a long one. He's got base damage, where Poppy has 4.5 because he voided Maggie's bow. And apparently this Bighorn loves spitting out big black balls. King does use his void to shoop to whoop and Krampus's head Bighorn though, so that does save him most likely several hearts of damage. He can't void the belly button, however, but he takes it and gets Whoopworm. Whipworm. So that's very good for shot speed. One of my favorite stats to up. Alright. Neither player gets a deal. Poppy a little sore for health right now, but you know what? That can change at any moment. King, he's got some cards on the ground and some runes that I think he's going to use in a strange combination to only profit himself, and you know what? That works. And he's got 4 of the same pill. No doubt he's going to be taking one of them. And there you go. A positive pill for King. Poppy did find a red heart, which is great. And King is now healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, he's only got 3 cents, but he's healthy and wise. Alright, Poppy heads on down. We're in Caves 2, Curse of the Blind. Very unfortunate, but that's okay. King checks the shop one more time and remembers what card he left. He could use it, and he does. Alright. Poppy in a room right now, not too threatening. The red hosts, you can take them out pretty easily, and the other guys are really a non-enemy if you think about it. Alright, Poppy miraculously did pull out that boss win there, so I'm really happy for that, and I'm glad the run will continue today. Alright, King dealing with a nasty room on Catacombs 2, or Caves 2, I forget already. But, oh my gosh, the farting large people push the boom flies around. That's unfortunate. Poppy dealing with, I'll just say, an annoying room outside of the shop. And item room, but he'll get both. He'll get access to both, assuming he wins this room, which I think he will. King still in the boom fly room, and honestly, these guys, there they go. They're just blowing up one at a time now. Perfect. Alright, this last champion does have a chance to drop a battery for the King, which I think he would enjoy for his void. But let's see if it happens. It didn't. But there was another rune. There's a lot of runes dropping this run. What's up with that? There's no rune bag going on. There's just a lot of runes dropping. But hey, that makes for exciting stuff.
The other runes too, or just Yera still?
He's getting all the other ones too.
Yeah, I've had a handful of different ones.
Alright, Curse of the Blind. Poppy chooses to not even think about it and voids it immediately, and then enters the shop. He has no sense, so we're not sure why he spent a key, but I'm sure he's thinking the exact same thing right now. King does get a battery drop, and oh gosh, quite the room here. He's going to use some bombs to try to escape with as minimal damage as possible. You know what would have worked in this room, King? Gnawed Leaf Headless Baby. And you guys shit on it all day long, but that's fine. Anyway, Poppy dealing with some worms in this room, having a great time, shouldn't be an issue. King expending a lot of health here for some coins. He's looking for the shop potentially later, or he'll just walk into the boss room without hitting the item room or the shop. King's going crazy. He's reckless. He does have another rune to potentially use, but let's see what happens between him and the boss. Poppy in the room before the boss. It does have the 5 red spiders. Poppy miraculously pulls out of the room with half a red heart. That one gave King some trouble as well, and that's a pretty rough room for close to base stats, that's for sure. But hey, you're 4 floors in, so maybe the game thinks you got a good item. But you haven't gotten a good item yet, because it's a great seed. Alright, Poppy dealing with some champion enemies here. He sees a red heart on the ground. It would take him a whole bomb to get there. He's thinking about it. King also dealing with the boss still, having a great time, doing great circle dodges. And there you go, you get your bomb back, Poppy, so that's something to write home about. Nobody uses that phrase anymore, so sorry for that. Alright, Poppy is 1 charge off of filling the void. And he enters the Gertie fight. He's got 1 full red heart. Actually, both players are off 1 charge filling the void. So killing the boss fight here will give them a full void to either use on the item or potential deal items. Let's see how that pans out for both players. King defeats Gertie. Curse of the Blind strikes, and King's thinking about it. And you know what? He chooses to take it or void it, and then he enters a deal and has some blind items here. The madman decides to take or void both or neither or one. Poppy doing great. Haven't gotten hit yet on Gertie. King going to explore the rest of the floor now. He needs to find both special rooms still if he wants to. Or he usually goes for the exploration bonus, so that'll be most rooms. Poppy still dealing with Gertie. Gertie looks to have maybe 15% health left, so that's doing good. King narrowly avoiding that explosion. Somebody check the tapes on that, because that was too close for comfort in my opinion. Alright, Poppy defeats Gertie. Gets the boss drop, which is Squeezy, which King did take. And Poppy, however, misses the deal, because he did take red heart damage this floor. King did achieve an angel deal this floor and voided both question mark items. So there could have been Godhead in there, or it could have been Holy Water. We don't know. Alright, Poppy heads on down. I think there was a curse, but I missed it, but we'll talk about it later. King clearing still on Catacombs 2. Looks like he made it to the item room and shop. The room right before them both. Poppy doing okay. He's got some spirit hearts now, so he's in a much better position than before. Except for the fact that that guy hit him for half a soul heart. That's okay. Alright, King immediately voids the item room as well as Poppy, who did the same thing. So we don't know what item was in that item room on Catacombs 2, but it gave a tears up and shot speed up for both players. So that's nice. Alright, Poppy in a bit of a hellish room right now. I hate those guys that just pop out of the ground like that, because they're jerks, and they'll do it right under you. And that one's a big, healthy champion, so that's even worse. But you gotta do what you gotta do. King is fighting for his life in the shop right now. Alright, but he gets out with some coins and a luck up, so that's pretty nice. And there you go. Alright, he's still got his rune. Poppy has a Hermit card, which he just might need to use to survive this room, unfortunately, but we'll see how it goes. It is giving him a run for his money. It is a rough room. Is that the blinking red champion that heals people? I can't tell. Who knows? Alright. King heads down. Curse of the Maze, Dank Depths 1. That's where Poppy is. He's having a terrible time, and hopefully the King will have a terrible time soon, too. He gets a rules card, which is just useless, and he's starting to fight some enemies here. I was just kidding about the terrible time for King. I was just kidding. Alright, King decides to use his rune in this room, which I don't blame him for at all. These enemies are tough and rough. Poppy survives that room really handily and encounters the room right before the shop, which is nice. Alright. Dank Depths, where you get all the black tar enemies. They won't stop coming towards you ever, so you gotta do something about it. Poppy in a room here with just 4 guts. Shouldn't be too much of an issue to line up and take him out. It looks like he skipped the shop for now, Poppy, because he's only got 2 cents. So what are you going to do in the shop with 2 cents? Nothing. And that's fair. Alright, King gets another key. He's
there was a contention over here that you were actually singing Smash Mouth there for a minute. that the tar enemies start coming and they don't stop coming. Can you comment on that?
It was an accident. That's my comment. Thank you.
Likely
We're all
story.
gonna get DMCA'd now.
That's right.
Like Metallica before us.
Both players taking different routes on this floor. That means it's a nice spread out floor. Poppy went towards the shop. King is going somewhere else. He sees a red chest in a corner. That could prove useful or worthless. There's another gold chest in the corner as well. So King opens that and is happy or disappointed with the results. Poppy in the room with many charging worms. He's dealing with that right now. Alright, there's just chests in every corner of this room apparently, and King is opening them all, except for that one that doesn't have a heart, or a chest, excuse me. Alright, Poppy dealing with another trash room here with the oily enemies. King dealing with a room. He just took a little bit of damage, but that's okay. He found the item room, which is nice. Hopefully it's an actual item he'll take and have a useful effect, because we haven't had a lot of those this run. So it is prime real estate for voiding right now. Let's see what happens. Alright, King is thinking about it. He's either going to take it or void it. He's not going to leave it here, I know that much. Poppy in a large room, the one with the corner chests. Alright, King makes a decision on the item. Very interesting. We'll go over that once Poppy makes his decision as well. Alright, you know what to do, King. Damn, Headless Baby was the answer, not bomb out and take damage anyway. Anyway, alright. So, Poppy's dealing with his room just fine. King, down to just red hearts. His deals are at risk right now, but Poppy is in the same position. So let's see how they both play this out. Alright, Poppy does have some bombs, so he's going to go after a few of the chests here in the corner. And here's the shop. There you go, King. That's what I'm talking about. Except for that guy, because he's just going to stand there and do that. So honestly, Jesus Christ. That's all I can say. Alright. But King is right outside. Is that the shop? Because Poppy was outside the shop earlier and it was a different orientation. One of those might be a library and one of those might be a shop. We'll have to see how that pans out for both players. A library would do both of them good right now. Alright, King went in and it's certainly one of the rooms. Won't comment which because I don't want to give spoilers. But Poppy's heading to the left. He's got Curse of the Mazed. That's unfortunate. Alright, the King has taken some red heart damage, which is also unfortunate. But let's see. Poppy's right outside the item room right now, so that's good. We'll get to talk about that item. Unless he just doesn't go in to spite me and my commentary. That's fine, Poppy. You can do that if you want to. Alright, King picks up some coins. He's got a heavy amount of coinage, and he's looking for some soul hearts. And there you go. Alright, Poppy goes in and sees triple shot, everybody's favorite item, and both players voided it. Why not take triple shot? Come on. You got tears ups. Come on, guys.
Too much DPS. Don't want it. Also, I thought it was Kane's eye.
That's fair. That's fair. King enters the boss fight. Almost bombs himself due to a misfire, but you know what? That's okay. You're fine. Poppy proceeding on with his extra damage up from triple shot, and you know what? That's okay. Alright. King's boss spawning some truly atrocious mobs, but he takes them out with a bomb. Poppy in a regular shop where King had a greed fight, so again that happened. Still not sure why. But hey, that's Isaac for you, I guess. Alright, Poppy looking good right now. He's got soul hearts. He's going back to find something on the floor. King dealing with the boss. It's just about over. Doesn't have a charge on Void, unfortunately, but he doesn't get a deal, so that's okay. Alright, King takes his soul hearts, and he also is going back on the floor. Oh, there you go. The room that we all knew wasn't the right room. Poppy enters it and sees a few interesting things, and it looks like King might be exploring for that as well, or he's just going for the exploration bonus, or both. I don't know. Alright, and Poppy uses Hermit for convenience, which I honestly can't blame him for, so I'll award 20 points for that. Alright, King gets a charge on Void and some nice consumables. Alright, a hellish room for King. He's doing the headless baby strat, and let's see if it works out. So far, so good, except for the fact that it's not working. But you know what? You can't win them all.
Does Baby even work if you don't move?
Yeah, he has a small pool under him next to you. Hey, there you go, King. Oh, just kidding. That guy didn't take damage, apparently. Alright, Poppy enters the Sister Vis fight, and shouldn't have too much of an issue, even though they are spawning the Devil Floor guys with chains, which is unfortunate. King is still persisting in the Tethless Baby fight. Does that champion type just not take creep damage, perhaps? That would be hilarious and unfortunate. Alright, King decides to start moving and doing some of his own work. Headless Baby will be useful when it's mobs that come after you, when it's the zombies that just walk after you and stuff like that. On the worms that speed around the room and don't stand in one spot, not that useful. King's just finding this out, and that's okay. He does decide to do a challenge room, which has a nice gold chest in it, or a crappy gold chest. Poppy's still fighting Sister Vis, hoping for a deal here to one-up King in that regard. Let's see how it works out. Alright, doesn't get a deal, does get caffeine pill. Chooses to void it, where King took it. So Poppy gets a tears up from caffeine pill, and King got a speed up. So there you go. Poppy heads on down to Depths 2. King still exploring Dank Depths 1. Alright. I'd say that's a good use, potentially, of Headless Baby. King is fighting other Headless Babies, and they're really just throwing themselves at him. But it's very rare. The one on the right is taking...
This is not good. This does so little damage. That creep is not good.
The one on the right just died, King, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
It seems like you got a really good... You should keep going.
They got to be on your right, obviously, and that's unfortunate. Poppy having a great time on Depths 2, not standing in a pool of blood. He's only got 4 items, because Void's just that powerful. He voided every other item, and that's okay. King has 8 items, which means that's double the items. Alright. Poppy gonna fight Mom's Hand here. King dealing with some ghosts. It's gonna be a bit of a long run. We're at 30-ish minutes on Depths 1 and 2, but you know what? It's not a great run for stats, so that's probably why that's occurring. So it's neither of the players' fault. Alright, King gets another rune, but this one's largely useless, unless it's not. And he enters the Hell room that gave Poppy a bit of trouble earlier, about 10 minutes ago, when he started Depths 1. No offense. Alright, Poppy taking some damage here on Depths 2, down to red hearts, loses his steal chance, very unfortunate, it was 100% otherwise. And then the poops decide to eat themselves just after Poppy lost the deal. So much for the Green New Deal. Alright, he does pick up Petrified Poop, which could provide him some hearts in the future. Poppy is hopeful for that. Alright, King still dealing with this incredulous room and the red enemies that are just a pain in the ass. They're not popping up under him, so he's got that going for him. And hopefully one day this room will be over. Poppy dealing with some champion spiders that just shoot him. Oh gosh, he dodged that damage very handily, so good job, Poppy. Alright, and he gets an Eternal Heart out of it that just might damage him for picking it up. So we'll see how that goes. Or he could be saving it till the end of the floor so it doesn't get taken away on his next hit. Which would have been that, but it wasn't. Okay, Hangman. That's useful for something, probably. And Poppy finds the boss room, but at this point, it's going to be a rough time, even with 5.5 damage. King heads north and sees another room full of the guys that he knows not to use Headless Baby against now. But he does see some black poops as well, which will deal damage and concuss enemies. So maybe that'll pan out for him. Poppy fighting some charging poops here. And there we go. King enters the library, gets Book of Shadows, Telepathy for Dummies, and decides to void them. So his void's very powerful now. Krampus's head and a couple books and shoop to whoop. It's pretty nice. Alright, and it looks like now he's heading down towards Depths 2. Alright, Poppy searching for, it looks like the item room or shop to maybe give him an advantage against Mom here. And he's taking a deep breath, and you know what? That's fine. Always calm down and enter a sacrifice room and do nothing. That's fine. Alright, King enters Depths 2 here. A very large floor, as we already know, and full of poop. And King's already got a taste for it. Not the poop. Come on. Everybody relax. Alright. Poppy's dealing with an enemy here that always drops a soul heart, so that's a nice advantage.
King, I heard on the internet that you have a taste for poop. Can you comment on that?
God damn it.
I'm not in the poop.
Right. The stoic and serious answer from King, as always. Alright, Poppy dealing with Wrath here.
Sounds exactly like the kind of thing Jeb Bush would say, though. Am I right, King? Can we agree that Jeb Bush would definitely say he's not into poop?
No, Jeb Bush is definitely a shit eater.
But he would say he isn't. Alright.
I just want to say, that's true, actually. That's true. But is he a bigger one than Ted Cruz? Let's begin.
Oh my gosh. Alright, save that for the politics podcast after this contest. Alright, King in the room now with the charging poops and the gravitational things. Also down to his just red hearts now. This is where Poppy lost his deal. Let's see if the same thing happens to King. He's got petrified poop on the floor, which, as we all know, isn't good to chew on. So let's see. There we go. He picks it up. Alright, Poppy enters the item room and takes it or voids it and loves it or hates it. He also enters the shop, which is obviously nearby. It's certainly questionable, but for the King, it might be a greed fight or a shop or both. Probably not both. Alright, Poppy is doing some window shopping. It's not working out so well in his favor. Alright, he chooses to void a certain item, which may pay out in the future for sure. Alright, King is now in the champion spider room. That one jumped on the spikes, so that's a nice advantage for King. And this Eternal Champion here, it just seems to want to stand in a corner. I'm not sure why. Alright, Poppy gets a great item and voids it for some reason. I'm not sure what was going through Pop.
Son of a bitch, it was a mistake.
That's fair. We all make mistakes in life. It's just when your thumb slips on the spacebar or the whatever button for controllers. It's just so unfortunate. Alright, King is right outside the boss room. Poppy nods along knowingly. King gets his creep blended with Headless Baby's creep and takes damage, which is unfortunate, and why everybody hates Headless Baby, next to his uselessness. But otherwise, it's a great item. Alright, Poppy is in the mom fight, doing well. King, outside of the mom fight, hasn't found a special room yet. So, oh my gosh, what a time to concuss the enemies, King. That was a lucky payoff. How do you think? How do you think it went? What do you have to say about that?
That was pretty close, not gonna lie.
That's right. King never lies. That's what I've learned from speaking to him for about 3 minutes. Alright. Poppy having still a great time in the mom fight. It's going on long. Again, he's got max tears and 5.5 damage. But that's low damage for Depth 2, which is unfortunate. That's not his fault. He avoided as much as he could. Almost. Almost everything. King now exploring in a different path, looking for the item room, looking for the shop. He finds the Larry Jr. room that always spits out with a soul heart. He's hoping... Now this is a great one for Headless Baby. Not necessarily Gnawed Leaf Headless Baby, but the creep will be great against Larry Jr. And you'll get a soul heart for sure, protecting your deal. Looks like Poppy also has the deal protected. So there's a 46% chance that somebody's going to have a great time after this boss fight. Alright, King dealing with Wrath now. My god, he just walked up and hit King in the face with his own fist. It wasn't even a bomb. What's up with that? Alright, Poppy gets the Polaroid and heads on down. Looks like no deal was gotten. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Alright, King miraculously walks through that room. He should have been hit for sure at least twice, but somehow he gets through it with no damage. Maybe on the way back. Not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying every time I do that, I do get hit. Alright, Poppy already in the boss fight in Scarred Womb 1, which is pretty incredible. King has a working shop, and he's got a ton of money, actually, probably because of that greed fight on last floor. So he can run house if he wants to, and Spider Bite Slowing Effect Tears is in the item room, and that bastard voided it for some reason. One of the few items Poppy took, and King voids it? Who do you think you are, King? Alright, King dealing with the shop here, Poppy dealing with the boss on Scarred Womb 1. King buying some soul hearts, thinking about buying Hive Mind, but ultimately doesn't. He's just stocking up on soul hearts, which honestly is probably the best play, and that's what I would do too here. He buys Remote Detonator to have 5 free bombs for 15 cents, so work that out in your head if you have to. And he's just using more bombs. Poppy taking out the Scarred Womb 1 boss. Sooner or later, it is a rough one to get damage on, so we don't blame him for taking more than a couple minutes. Alright, and there's an item that, honestly, that's the right play. Poppy did the right play there, and I think we can all tell why. Alright, King, for some reason, doesn't take Baggy Pills, everybody's favorite item that gets rid of cards and runes, and he does take one hit on the way back despite using a Hangman card. So, it's unfortunate. But right now, King is looking for apparently Dry Baby, blowing up skulls for no reason. Could also find Ghost Baby in that manner, but he finds neither. Alright. Poppy now on Womb 2, and it looks like he's just having a great time. He has a 100% chance at a deal, and right now he's got a 100% chance at being a player to first finish. He's about 3 minutes of time ahead of King and 2 floors ahead of him at the same time. You don't usually hold advantage on both, but Poppy's doing it. But King has the exploration bonus, so who can say which is better? I don't know. King doing great on the mom fight here. He's looking for a deal. Poppy also looking for a deal. He needs some soul hearts to protect that red health. That's for sure. Alright, Poppy taking some unfortunate damage in this room. And then Mom's hand just comes to compile the threat. Luckily, he dodges those with ease. And heads on over. Alright. Okay, some nice red heart there for Poppy. And a tough room, potentially. But everybody's favorite mini-boss, is there as well. So that's a consolation for sure. Alright, King almost done with the Mom fight. King also at max tiers and 5.5 damage, so despite voiding different items, both players ended up with generally the same combat stats for the mom fight.
Just got done clearing the official office for the New Jersey Department of Sewers, Libraries, and Other Recreations. It's actually not as clean as I thought it was going to be.
I mean, it sounds inherently pretty dirty, so I don't know what you were thinking. But there you go. Alright, King gets a angel deal from the mom fight and picks up the halo. Tears up doesn't help, but it's a bit of a damage up, which is nice, and another red heart, which at this point you can't complain about. Poppy heads into the It Lives fight, low on health, but high on determination. So, okay, really low on health, and now he's shaking his head solemnly, which can only mean he's 100% confident in his ability to complete this fight, and so am I. Alright, he has a temperance machine, which can only hurt him at this point, so that's not going to help, but maybe after he can... Alright, there is no after. Let's see how King's doing. Scarred Womb 1, having a great time, heading towards the boss fight. Poppy, do you want to talk about that run?
That run was just cursed.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was horrible.
You got some okay items, but then the voiding gave you some good stats. You got tears from that and stuff. I don't know what happened, but it was just a bad run despite good voids and semi-okay items.
It was a lack of damage, and I didn't get anything even remotely transformative item-wise.
That's fair.
So
that's right.
I'm going to leave mine up. Go ahead and do the math. I think, we'll see, and then once you've got the math on mine, we'll see once King, like the moment King surpasses it by even 1 point, we'll call it a win on his. Normally I would just give the win to him now, but he's 2 floors behind me, so anything could happen.
That's true. Anything could happen. He's got to go through the Scarred Womb 1 boss, and it lives, and then potentially if he makes the Cathedral. But yeah, let's see. So Poppy has a certain score, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items, and no hearts. So I guess that points for hearts is pretty much 0.
I'll do the math here in a second. I've got King's stream pulled up so that we can all watch and see how King is doing. Hi, King.
All right, King is smiling, but then he got hit, so he's actually probably pretty upset on the greeting the Poppy gave him. But you know what? Them's the breaks in life. Alright, King dealing with Scarred Womb 1 floor here. I felt like Poppy hit the boss in this one pretty quickly, but King's still looking for it. Did you have an Emperor card, Poppy, or am I just crazy?
Emperor card.
Oh, okay. Alright. I don't know when he picked that up, but obviously it was very useful until it...
I had started it.
Oh, right. Right, oh yeah, you voided it, right?
You voided it, yeah.
Nice. Void, very good item, usually. Alright, the King is at just over 6 damage here. Oh, he loses his deal chance to this disgusting room, and honestly, that's what happens in Scarred Womb. He gets another rune, though, from Hagelas. Oh, he does have Rune Bag. How the hell did he get that? Anyway. Poppy showing off his Isaac t-shirt, which looks pretty cool. I guess that's the Department of Sewers, Libraries, and Other Recreations in the background.
It is. It is.
Okay. And here's King right outside the Womb 1 boss. He's got just 2 red hearts, so honestly, it's going to be close. Maybe he'll fish for a secret room. Nope, he just heads into Skull-X, which has 4 guts accompanying him, and Champion Skull-X. King, I don't want to tell you what to do, but Headless Baby is a god, if you think about it. I'm just kidding. Headless Baby, not going to be too useful here. King knowingly shakes his head, because that's a misinformation statement. Obviously, you want to get your damage on Skull-X when he sticks his tail out of the ground. Alright, so like we had with Poppy, it's going to be a slow fight, but not too threatening, most likely. Unless King lays a bomb and then shoots it off in the middle of the floor like he just did, he could potentially hurt himself. Alright, Skull-X sitting at about 10% HP. Oh, King does take a hit of damage due to some strange hitbox issues. Excuse me. Call the button. King falls to Skull-X.
I don't know what that first hit was, and I was just trying to like figure it out. And then the other drops were coming at me.
Yeah, that first hit was crap, and that other one was a strange and long volley from Skull-X. Put all the points together.
I think score. I think we have to count score here. I think that this one comes down to score.
Yeah.
You made it further than me, so it's you got it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you want to call it there, King, I'm happy to count score here, or if you think because I made it further.
It would have been the same thing if if I lost and then you got ahead of me. So it's just it's 2-1 you.
Okay, all right. I will take the 2-1. We didn't actually account for this because we didn't count on having god awful Apollyon runs, but here we are.
Yeah, that's quite the unexpected end to that. But there was about a 2,500 point difference in Poppy's favor, along with the extra floor, which probably gave him about 2,000 of those points. So again, Poppy takes a win there. So it's 1 point King, 2 points Poppy, as we head to potentially.
Yeah, this could be game point. It's gonna be match point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I take a BRB real quick?
Hey, my friend, do you think?
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
No, you may not. Just kidding.
I gotta say, would you like to generate VC?
Yeah. Let me grab it.
All right, King generating the Samson seed here. I'll type it into King's chat just to have it mirrored later on. JN7HWFQF. There you go.
Thank you.
World Fire Life. I'm trying to think of WFQF, what it could stand for.
JN7HWFQF. Does that sound right?
That's correct.
All right, King. I am prepared when you are ready. I think we're gonna take this one all the way to Game 5, man. I have that feeling.
We'll see. Hopefully, it's a better seed.
Yeah, I'm just glad we actually get to have some fun on this run. You can ask my chat. I used a lot of cusses on the last one.
It happens. So I'll count us down. You ready?
I'm ready. Go right ahead. I realized I didn't hit the push to talk when I exclaimed, "Yep."
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, both players start out Samson in Basement XL, Curse of the Labyrinth. And I guess the little white image that's generated on the black screen as a run is loading in, excuse me. I guess that's based on seed, because that's been the same funny little white image each time for both players in the last couple runs. So that probably doesn't matter at all, but there's your useful info at the beginning of a run. There's not much else I can talk about. Both players are Samson. They start with 3 red hearts, 11 tears rate, 3.5 damage. Samson starts with Bloody Lust. So the first 3 hits of damage he takes on a floor will give him a 0.5 damage up each. And the next 3 hits give him a 50% damage up each. So it's pretty nice. And a blood bank can really power up Samson if you find that early in a floor and you have the hearts to spare. Right, King finds a pill and immediately disregards it. Poppy is clearing a dead end here in Basement 1. We're hoping for a fun run full of booger tears, holy shot, parasitoid tears, you know, something cool. Not just here's some regular tears with crap damage. Because
Conehead.
Conehead, there you go. That would be a fine item, and it would round out everybody's scalp pretty nicely. Alright. Both players in the same room right now, dealing with some farting Fat Isaacs. And neither player has taken damage, so no damage ups yet. But you don't want to do that quite yet, because it's Basement XL, so red heart damage, of course, would be ruinous to a Devil Deal chance. Alright, King heads forward and encounters a room with some flies. A stone chest drops in the L room for both players, so we're just waiting to find a bomb so we can see what's in that. Alright. There's 2 item rooms on this floor, obviously. 1 shop, 1 potential Devil Deal, and 1 of each secret room. So our players are going to be looking for the special rooms in this, but maybe a curse room once the boss is defeated or something like that. Maybe a challenge room to get, you know, who knows what. Alright, King finds the shop, I think, and 1 item room, and he chooses to like or dislike this item, and Poppy finds the same thing and walks into, there you go, Cupid's arrow, piercing shots, Both players take it. Nothing wrong with piercing shots. Can't hit bombs away. I guess that's the only thing wrong with piercing shots, actually, now that you mention it. Alright. Tinted rock in this room for both players, but still no bombs. So let's see. Bombs look like the hot commodity for this floor. There's a chest, there's some rocks. Who knows what else? Alright. King gets a full 5 cents and then heads to the shop. Let's see what he'll pull out. Poppy, it looks like, is doing a very similar motion. And not a bomb for either player is sitting in the shop floor. Unfortunate. Both players clearing the large room here. Piercing shot's not doing a whole lot because these enemies aren't lining up that much. But the next item room is pretty close. Here it is. Alright. King seems pleased with this item. I'll just say that because it doesn't cost a key, so Poppy was going to check it either way, obviously. So it's at this point that this run has more damage ups than last run. Alright. Poppy just getting in between the rocks for this last enemy, and there we go. Alright. King picking up another key, hoping for more bombs. Poppy happy to see Stigmata HP up and a damage up in the item room. King doing some clearing of previous rooms, looking for bombs, looking for anything potentially to save him from taking red heart damage during the boss fights. Let's see what he can get. Poppy, however, doesn't have such caution, and that's okay, but he does take red heart damage in the first boss room. But it still could get a deal in the next room. You never know how it's going to work out. King also looks like he's heading towards the boss rooms right now. It looks like he exhausted the floor. Poppy, for some reason, really wanting to take advantage of the Samson.
No more rooms to clear, man.
That's fair. That's fair. That's true. So he's hopping up on damage for the next boss fight by taking some red heart on the gurgling fight, and that's okay. King now dealing with the gurglings as well. Does take red heart damage as well. Let's see if he amps it up with a lot more rage damage, or if he plays it safer. Alright, he's playing it safe. Poppy doing well against boss number 2. He's got a 36% chance at a deal. And it looks like that paid out or not, because that's how things work. Alright, King heads into the monster fight. Piercing will take care of the Walking Isaacs, no problem. 36% chance at a deal, just like Poppy. And let's see again if it'll pay out for him. Alright, Catacombs 1, Curse of the Blind for Poppy. So, not a great curse. Catacombs is whatever. At least it's not what's it called? The Wet Caves. It's not called the Wet Caves, but you know.
That's us. We're the Wet Caves.
I don't get it.
Home Alone?
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
Sorry. Alright, King defeats Monstro, also doesn't get a deal. And gets Binky, which is a nice tears up, and a soul heart for both players now. Curse the Blind for King as well, obviously. Alright. There's a challenge room here on the Catacombs. King, let's see, decides to do it or not. He's doing it. Poppy already in the midst of it as well. It looks like 3 chests full of pills is the reward. So potentially good, potentially bad for both players. Poppy taking some pills. I won't comment on their goodness or not. That way, you know, no unfair advantage. Alright. King handling the challenge room, no problem, no hits. Poppy did the same thing. Both players have the exact same hearts right now. 4 full red heart containers, 1 empty one, and a soul heart. Alright, King peeing himself with Lemon Party and pooping himself with Relax is that's what pills do to you sometimes. Speed up for King, Pretty Fly. I think Poppy took them all as well, so at this point we're just repeating what's going on. And yes, luck down, unfortunately. But Poppy's right outside the item room, so that means King's close because it's the same seed. And that's kind of the definition of the seed. Alright, King dealing with these wall spiders. Poppy dealing with a blind item which he likes, hates, or distrusts. We'll see in future review. Alright, King killing some enemies. Oh my gosh, walks into that one for a bit of a damage up, which is nice for Samson. And he's got a 100% chance at a deal still, but just red hearts, so he's going to want to buckle down, shape up, and pull himself up by his bootstraps. Alright, he enters the shop, which is nice to get another soul heart from. There's no two wrong ways about that. Alright, Poppy's sitting at 5 bombs. Was that a recent pickup? Because King's still at 0 bombs, so those other bombs must be somewhere on the floor. And Poppy using them to destroy that beggar, because nobody likes beggars. And that's fair, you know? Always sitting there asking for money. I'm being sarcastic. Alright, King poops himself with a different poop yourself pill, and he heads on up. He's looking for the item room, he's looking for the boss room. Poppy gets a nice rune that could pay out handsomely sooner or later, and he knows is on his way to the boss. Alright, King right outside the item room right now. Doesn't want to take any more damage. He wants the devil deal on this floor. So does Poppy. Poppy's about to enter the boss fight. King enters the item room in a minute, apparently. Nope. He'll just go in a different room. Because I said something, he'll just do something else. Thanks, King. Always count on you. Alright, he skips the item room entirely, in fact. So, alright. He's really doing it. Okay. Poppy fighting the boss, having a fine time here with the tears up and a bit of damage up thanks to Samson and Stigmata. King dealing with an invisible enemy, which is a pain in the butt, but you know what? That's okay. Poppy almost has the last boss, or excuse me, this boss defeated. He gets a drop, he gets a door. Alright, King and Poppy use their Degas rune at pretty much the exact same time, just, you know, different times in Isaac. King goes back to now check out Crystal Ball. He was really going to skip a blind item room. He was going to pass up on Crystal Ball if that wasn't a Degas rune. That's all I'm going to say. And that would have burned him so much it's not even funny. And Poppy picks up the boss item and the potential deal item as well. And there we go. Right, and King paralyzes himself thanks to another great pill in the Binding of Isaac. Alright. Poppy finds an arcade, which is very useful with the high amount of red hearts he has. So he's going to be making some money from that. King is about to head into the boss fight on, what is it? Catacombs 1? 2? I forget already. I think 2. I think 1. I don't know. Alright, he's having a great time against the Forsaken. He's got his brimstone going. Poppy using more arcade play for more cash. King just about to beat the Forsaken here. Alright, gets a little bit of a damage up from Samson, which is nice. Poppy doing a boss challenge room. Alright, King takes the belt and a couple black hearts from a devil deal. Both players got the same deal. A couple hearts and Rotten Baby. King also takes. And he heads on down. Flooded Caves 2, Curse of the Lost. That's unfortunate for Crystal Ball, which gives you full map effect as if you use the Sun card. But if you get Curse of the Lost, you're screwed. But hey, the occasional Soul Hearts still make Crystal Ball pretty great. And King gets one of those as he cleans up Larry Jr., who must have been working overtime. And there you go. Alright, Poppy bombs for another Spirit Heart here. It's a good use. And a semi-interesting pill for once, where you don't poop or crap yourself. So that's nice. Alright, it seems to be a bit of a labyrinth floor. Not Curse of the Labyrinth, just a weird layout plus Curse of the Lost equals Who knows what's going on? But Poppy finds his way back to the arcade. King doesn't get an arcade for this floor because he came down with 4 cents instead of 5. So that might make all the difference for shops later on, because Poppy's just getting heart after heart, coin after coin, by spending hearts at the blood machine. So we'll see how that happens. We'll see how that affects the future. Or I'll forget about it because it probably doesn't matter. But who knows? Alright, King getting that damage up with Samson. That's a nice way of saying taking damage, for this run. So that's pretty nice. He's in a large room. Poppy, exploring the floor, has lots of health. And just 1 charge off from completing his crystal ball charge. Let's see if he uses it. He does. Crystal ball could give you cards, runes, and soul hearts. So it's always something nice to potentially have. Looks like Poppy is about 40 seconds faster on the Isaac time clock right now, and just maybe a couple rooms ahead of King, depending on how you count ahead of on a crazy floor like this. So you might have the advantage there for the 100 points when both players finish this run. Sorry, just had to emphasize that. Both players should finish, one of these 5 runs. That's all I'm trying to say. Alright. Poppy very happy with, or very sad with, the item room item. Getting a little bit of lag on King's stream, but it looks like it's cleared up. Okay, yep, looks fine right now. Alright. Poppy doing some killing over here on Flooded Caves 2. The host that won't stand up is the book they wrote about this host, because he just won't stand up. There he goes. Okay, he's doing fine. Poppy's got another crystal ball charge. Let's see if he uses it. King using a Wheel of Fortune card. Probably might blow it up later. So it's good use for Wheel of Fortune. If you blow up Wheel of Fortune machine on the chest, you get an item. So that's something. Alright, and the King finds, it looks like the boss room and the shop. Alright, so he is a fan of this shop or not, I can't be sure. Poppy, however, having a great time in these flooded caves. And Poppy also finds the shop and the boss room. Alright, King is going back to look for, I assume, the item room, potentially more health for the boss fight. As Poppy thinks about... Okay, he heads into the boss fight, turns out. So this will be probably a quick fight for Poppy. He does have a lot of damage, most likely in part due to the blood machine maxing out his Samson damage pretty early on. Alright, that was almost an unfortunate circumstance for Poppy, but it went over okay. King making great use of piercing there, and Poppy heads on down to depths 1, perchance. Necropolis 1, of course, because nobody can have anything easy these days. At least there's no curse. So that's good for Poppy. That'll be good for King once he heads down there. King gets another battery, another soul heart. He's having a great time. I believe he's looking for the item room. And he's fighting a large room full of spiders right now. One of his greatest fears. Alright. Poppy enters a fun room right here that could have interesting things in it. And I think he's overall pleased. Alright. King gets a mystery sack from a stone chest. So, that's great. That's a nice mystery for him. And now he's fighting Gluttony, still on Flooded Caves 2. And less than 3 has dropped, which heals all your red hearts. But King doesn't need that, because he doesn't have red heart damage. Poppy's right outside the shop here of Necropolis 1. King finally finds the item room of Flooded Caves 2. It took him a while. Like I said, this floor is large and I think windy. And King is delighted to see Cricket's head in there, giving him a 3.5 damage boost. And it'll just be even higher with every hit of damage because of Samson's damage up that will get multiplied by Cricket's head. Alright. Poppy having some fun in the shop for sure. King bombing open a door that's already open. King, come on. Just kidding. I saw what happened. Alright. Poppy concentrating and spent all his money in the shop. But you know what? When there's a sale, that's when you gotta spend your money. So, I don't blame you for that one. King heading into the stain fight now on
I
flooded.
put everything on my wish list. It was all on sale.
Well, there you go. That's the perfect setup. King might be in dire straits here now that he doesn't have the arcade on Flooded Caves 2, but he does get Pageant Boy, same as Poppy, gets 1 nickel, so he'll have some cash going into the next floor, and he'll leave behind a Hagalaz rune and take an Emperor card instead, which is the correct decision. Alright, Necropolis 1, King is thinking about where to go, Poppy is navigating the same floor as well. Everybody has 3 bombs and 5 keys, so that's pretty strange. King finds a library featuring how to jump and telepathy for dummies. Definitely not worth taking over Crystal Ball, but 2/3 bookworm for both players now. It's also nice. Right, Poppy gets a golden key, so that's certainly something to talk about. And a trinket that pretty much nobody ever wants.
I think you can get rid of the tick, though, right?
No. Matchstick gets rid of the tick.
I know it makes you drop your active item, so I just wondered if it also made you drop the tick, too. I guess I was just too hopeful.
Yeah, unless you have something that lets you hold 2, and then you're holding that and the tick, maybe, because it's the trinket slot, right? So, I don't know, for sure. Oh, Poppy gets a very interesting card and finds the secret room, and then finds more cash. So that'll definitely be an advantage for him. And he gets a nice item that can prove very useful. It does mean cash not so helpful right now, but maybe in the future for when we find money equals power. Alright, King still navigating this floor. Poppy back navigating the floor, and he's looking to pick up some items from the shop here, which it looks like he'll be able to do. Alright, King sees butter now as well and hates it, so he leaves it behind. I think it popped up at a different point than when Poppy saw it, though, so that's interesting that the same trinkets show up at different points. Alright, and King is heading on towards his way through Necropolis 1. Alright, very large room here that's just annoying, let's be honest. Poppy having some fun in the shop, purchasing just about every item he can. And Poppy enters an interesting room here where he's going to be using his hearts, amping up his Samson damage, and potentially gaining something great. Let's see. Yeah, that's something great. Alright, King here in the shop, or excuse me, in the secret room, fights greed, and gets a single Steam sale, which is something to be proud of. That'll make the shop this floor even nicer. Once King finds it. Okay, Poppy's still abusing the shop here on this floor. King right outside the item room, and he's using Crystal Ball for more hearts, more cards. Demon Baby Auto Turret Friend was in the item room, so King was happy to see that. He's got a Joker card, so maybe he'll be able to use that soon. And Crystal Ball tells him the shop is right above his head. So let's see what the King can find in there. Poppy also still in the shop, and there's a tinted rock that King is using for a couple keys. And you know what? At that point, it's fine to get a couple keys. Alright, the King takes Sackhead and is pretty happy with that. Right. Poppy takes the map and Black Candle is pretty happy with that. King takes there's options. Is pretty happy with that. It's kind of the running theme right now. Alright. Poppy blows up the Wheel of Fortune for more money. And King decides to go to the Devil Deal with the Joker card. Spending his red hearts now on one of 3 beggars. Let's see what pays out. Hey, Succubus is a pretty nice pickup, I would say, out of that. Poppy did also achieve Succubus from the same demon beggar. So it's nice to know that's seeded. Alright, King getting a few pills from this demon beggar, and honestly, that's not cool. But King thinks he might spend Spirit Hearts, we're not sure. Alright, King miraculously diplopias the Succubus in a effective display of power and creativity. And I'm here for it. Poppy defeats the boss of this floor pretty handily, takes an item or not, and then heads into the deal, or doesn't. Alright, King still has his Emperor card. Poppy still has his Anzus rune, which is not as useful due to the fact that a crystal ball is the item being held. But you know what? It's something. And it'll tell you where the super secret room is, where crystal ball won't. So, there you go. Alright, King skips the deal because he was already in it and didn't have any more hearts to play with. Both players took coat rack? Coat hanger, excuse me. The wire coat hanger. Which is pretty nice. And in the challenge room, King is picking up a lot of cash here. Poppy also doing great. Alright, looks like King fat-fingered the Emperor card? Correct me if I'm wrong. So he skips that floor's item room and potential shop. Poppy collecting some...
Yeah, something just happened with my controller. I don't know. Like, the game, like, lagged for a second, and then, like, I guess, like, input everything. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I used that card.
Well, that's unfortunate. I award you 100 compensation points. Poppy still collecting lots of money despite the fact that he has double Steam sale, but you know what? It's more score in the Isaac scoreboard, so I don't blame him for that. King pushing on to Utero 1. Now he can play for first place finisher, which is definitely going to come into play, I'd say, because this run is pretty nice for both players. And so King's unfortunate malfunction may actually be a boon in the end. Also, for legal purposes, I have to say the 100 compensation points are not real. I apologize. Okay. Poppy doing nicely here on Dank Depths 2 or Necropolis 2, I can't tell. And he goes in the item room, and there's options, or there's even more options, so he picks between some fly, I forget already, and Gimpy. He picks Gimpy. It's a pretty good pickup. Alright, the King pushes a button on Womb 1 and picks up a coin. The King has used Crystal Ball, so he's got the full map now of Womb 1. Poppy abusing the shop on Necropolis 2. It gets Pandora's Box. It just picks up 30 more cents. That's honestly useless. Or 20 more cents, whatever it is. He picks up Blanket, which will be helpful. Uses Ace of Clubs to pick up some more points in the Isaac scoring system. And honestly, the double Steam sale could give him the edge he needs against King's now quicker run. We'll see how it pans out. King heads right to the Womb 1 boss fight. Alright, shouldn't be too much of an issue for King's double Succubus. And certainly boss items did drop. King's not sure which one to take because they're both great. And a devil deal afterwards can only signify great things to come. And Poppy is still in the shop, and he's never going to stop. I'm pretty sure he's just never going to stop. Alright, King heads on down to Womb 2. He did take the devil deal, which is everybody's favorite item. Womb 2, Curse the Maze. It's kind of meh, but Poppy won't have to deal with that when he gets there because he has Black Candle and about 77 other items from the shop. So we'll see how that goes when the time comes. Alright, Poppy enters the mom fight. King uses a crystal ball. There we go. Gets the health from it and finds some interesting rooms here on Womb 2, so maybe that'll pan out to something nice. Alright, the Polaroid drops for Poppy. No deal, and he heads on down with a emotion on his face. That's all I can say. Alright. Alright, Utero 1 for Poppy. He heads up and he's looking at double Loki, which is always fun to see. Curse the Maze messes with King a bit, but it gets him towards the secret room and a golden key, so I guess you can't complain about that until you see that secret room. Gosh dang, I'd complain about that secret room all day. Alright. But a golden poop will prove nice for the score of King. Poppy also has a nice score due to his items, pickups, and double Steam Sale. Alright, King dealing with some champions there. Another charge, another card. Love to see it. Poppy has the ladder, an OP item that everybody begs to have right after they pick up fruitcake. Alright.
I actually really like fruitcake.
Me too! I won't get into it now. Alright. Poppy is in a secret room. He presses both buttons with no hesitation and then runs into a mimic chest on purpose, and I'm here for it. King is fighting It Lives. It should be a pretty quick fight for the King. Alright. No deal, but he almost went to Hush. He was like, you know what? I want those 7,777 extra points from Hush, but then he didn't do it. So what's up with that? But anyway, he goes to the cathedral. Poppy, I missed what happened. He's in the super secret room. He's fighting Triacrid right now. That's fine. That'll be a nice quick fight. And he's got a 97.5% chance at a deal. How does that even happen? How does it get that close to 100% and not be 100%? I mean, I know you got the deal, but how does it get to 97.5 literally? I've never seen that before. I guess it's from holding Black Candle and maybe like an 87% chance deal or something. I don't know.
That was not on purpose. Oh my god.
With 7 seals? 7 seals. King also picked it up. He was like, you know what? It's a terrible item, but I need those 5 extra points for picking up items.
King, we are so dumb. Why did we pick that up?
King might not answer. He's in the middle of the Isaac fight. That's right. He's trying to trounce Poppy in time after losing 2 matches in a row, which he's never done before in these quarterly tournaments. Alright, Poppy goes into a treasure room and picks up more money. Again, we're not sure why, except for score. King cleans Isaac up soon. He's very low in health. Isaac is, not King. King's doing great. Alright, King is saving his crystal ball charge for the chest, so he gets the map immediately. It's a smart move from Smart Man. Also, your hat's on backwards, but I guess that's a style. Alright, King heads to the chest. Poppy is still here on Womb 2. King picks up some very interesting items that synergize, that's for sure, and that bastard. Alright, King's got the map. Let's see what he does. Poppy breaks a golden poop, and he's just about at 99 cents. Alright, King is a minute and 20 seconds later than Poppy, but he's on the chest, so I think he'll get the time finishing first, unless he does something weird, like clear the entire chest or go to the void, which we all know awards no points, and is looked down upon by everyone, including Ed. Alright. Poppy just about at the boss of Womb 2 here. King going into the secret room of the chest. Takes a hit of damage, unfortunately, but picks up another item, so maybe it's worth it. I don't know how much taking damage lowers your score in Isaac. Probably more than 5, actually, so never mind. Probably not worth it. But still. Alright, Poppy heads in the It Lives fight. Takes out the eyes pretty quickly, except for that one. Okay, he got it. Never mind. Alright, what was that? Oh, King walked over creep, barely. It was fading. It was, honestly, it was unfair to see that creep. Alright, and Poppy heads up to the cathedral, thank God. I didn't want to commentate over a Hush fight, because I don't want to talk for 15 minutes while nothing happens. Hush, everybody hates you. Alright, King is heading into the blue baby fight, and that's great to see. His double succubus will be boosting his damage twice, if it feels like it, and dealing damage to blue baby, while Poppy fights Isaac in the floor below. There we go. Time for King. 30-24. Count up your items, please, King. And we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hearts worth of points for you while Poppy finishes up this run. Alright, King. You got 1, 2, 3. Hold on. How many items are to the right of the Stigmata lane? Was that just 3 more items?
I'm looking up now.
Okay. Alright, a very exciting run. Both players will finish with flying colors, and it's good to see. It's a shame it took 4 runs, but those other 3 were tough seeds with some rough rooms. Alright, 7 Seals doing some work. Poppy's glad he picked that item up, that's for sure. And Isaac is defeated once again. King, I think you have 26 items. Correct me if I'm wrong. Alright,
That looks about right.
Okay. Poppy opens the chests on the chest, gets some decent items, including Pyromaniac, Bobby Bombs, and Punching Bag.
King, why are you being so nice to me? Is it because you know that you won this round and we're taking it down?
I lost this
one.
It's going to be real close because of Poppy's double Steam sale that allowed him to get several items in the shop worth approximately 5 points. But then again, King most likely finishes first unless Poppy finishes within 24 seconds, which he won't, no offense. So it'll take 20 items to counter that 100-point bonus. It's going to be down to the finish line. That's all I'm going to say. Alright, so we got the King. I'll start a tally going. He's got this number, this many items, times 25. Shouldn't have this many tabs open, really. Poppy also going through the chest with no problems. Let's see, he might be going for the exploration bonus. Probably not. He went one direction, now he's going another. Let's see how that pans out for him. Okay. King with, what was it, 7 hearts? I think so. 7. Alright, Poppy having a great time in this room with Wrath at the very end. Let's see if we can get Mr. Mega. Nope, it's Mr. Boom. A similar but unfortunate item in the Binding of Isaac. Alright, I have the point totals for King. We'll total it all at the end. Poppy's dealing with a room with Chubb. He's got another big room to go, it looks like. He finds an item. Host hat. You know what happens when you get bomb immunity? You need another bomb immunity item, just in case. Alright, King pulls up Poppy's stream to root on and potentially hex his friend and competitor. Poppy gets an item from the double gluttony room and heads on. Right, there's a troll bomb there, which almost gets Poppy, I'll be honest, but he's got 2 forms of explosion invincibility, so probably wouldn't hurt him. And now he's in a giant room with Gertie and Gertie Jr. Alright, King blowing into his hands. I assume that's the ritual needed for the hex as Poppy takes damage. So honestly, it's working, King. Keep up. Keep it up. King, you can chime in any time here. How'd you feel about this run?
I felt good until I found out that Poppy had double Steam sale.
Yeah, I think one showed up in the shop for him to purchase before he got the Steam sale from the Greed in the secret room. So again, I don't know why your items differed.
Talented.
All right. Oh, okay. We got to pause here for Poppy. All right. 29302 base.
Yeah, he's got me with the 29302.
Even with your items?
Yeah, it's just +5 for the items, so I didn't have many items.
I got a few. I got a couple.
Yeah, King had 26 items, 7 hearts, and the 100 time differential. So if we add those together, he's at 28095. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's lower than Poppy's even before the items.
King GG, my friend. I actually really thought that you were going to stay true to your word and end my streaming career today, which is what you promised to do, and it hurt my feelings, but that was okay because we're friends, right?
No, it was fun. Thanks for doing it. I'm glad like it got down to the wire though. It was cool, like, you know, the way it played out. We both had shitty seeds, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, if we weren't playing the same seed, I don't even, like, I would have just stopped. I'd been an hour ago, I'd have been like, dude, enjoy your fucking win, and I would have just quit, because that Apollyon run was such a punishment. Oh, that Apollyon run was pain, man.
It was.
Excruciating. I was just, like, sitting there, like, each room, I was just like, this is just getting worse and worse.
By the end, I honestly, I didn't say it over the mic, but I was saying in my stream, I'm like, guys, honestly, I would like to just throw this and end it and give King the W just so I don't have to play this anymore, because that Apollyon run was so painful.
It was pretty rough. But Poppy, you win the second annual, quarter-annual, semi-annual contest of Isaac Strategery and Strategy. I think
King, that ties us up, man, 1-1.
that's right.
It's a rivalry now for sure. It's a one. So everyone's got to tune in to see who gets the next one.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really I'm very pumped up for that. Thanks for the runs, dude. And you know what? I'm flummoxed. I was fully expecting to lose. I have 2 bottles of champagne in my fridge that had just been sitting there for a while because I lost the last one, and now I think it's time. You know, like Borgor before me. It's time to pop the bottle, man.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, thank you again. I was not expecting the gifted subs to the people. I didn't actually get to see who got them, but everybody who got them, you better go follow King and thank him. Damn you.
You all for watching. Poppy, thanks for doing it again, and thanks, Pump, for doing commentary. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, competitors, for a lively bout that I didn't think would end the way it did. No offense, but it's unpredictable.
I don't know what that means, but also I feel exactly the same way somehow. So
Exactly.
yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you very much, Bomb. You are an excellent commentator. Very very grateful to you, King. Let's get the next date on the books. We can't just let a tie stand here like this, right?
No, not at all. But how did everybody feel about the scoring? I know we only got like really one